Cowboy NFL post-game show, and the Packers shut out the Vikings 34-0. Brett Favre, 3 touchdowns, 350 yards, and he goes over the 60,000-yard marker, joining only Dan Marino as the only 2 members to do that. I feel like he and Dan have a lot in common so far this season. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz alongside NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. First time the Vikings have been shut out since 1991, and Pat, the Packers had the ball for 41 minutes. The Vikings defense was awful in this football game. And the Vikings offense was awful.
The Vikings did not show up today in any way, and you referenced it. You can hold the ball for 40 minutes, not much going on. What are the Vikings? They're a team that has to run the ball. Did they run the ball? No. 86 yards on the ground. And what we have from Brett Favre in the 2 Minnesota games is 680 yards passing. He's a big reason they're 31st in the league in throwing the ball.
Pat loves the revenge weekend, and then on this weekend there were 8 times, including the Monday Nighter, where it's the second time the team, division game, second time the team will come back, and this one did not go the other direction. The Vikings did not come back. In fact, they weren't even close in this game. You take a look at what the Packers are. They're an 8-1 football team. They get the Panthers at home next week before Thanksgiving against the Lions. This team is starting to run the football, and they ran the football today against a team that is number 1 against the run, or number 2 against the run.
Well, as soon as you put the balance into this equation, it happened right after the bye. The Packers started blending that running game in, making sure that they weren't drifting into a passing team. Mike McCarthy talked about it. Now they go up against a great run defense, and they run the ball for over 100 yards. First team to do it to the Vikings. But beyond that, you're going to sit down. You're the Carolina Panthers. You want to sit down and go over, how do I get ready for this? Brett throws the ball to 10 different receivers. He distributes it everywhere.
In the first half. He had 10 different receivers in the first half.
And they had so much fun, he went back to all of them in the second half.
Over 350 yards, and he was over for 300 yards for the 3rd consecutive week. And again this week, no interceptions, although truthfully he should have had a couple. But the Vikings dropped one, including the touchdown to Ravel Martin at the end of the game. But you take a look at this team. They have the complete package that people have been waiting for. It's about time that people start giving they may be the best team in the NFC.
We're going to find out. We're going to know a lot more about the Giants and the Cowboys when they get done with their football game. But what we're looking at here is the following things from the Packers. A terrific run defense, great tacklers. The linebackers all tackle. They all run.
The corners tackle as well.
And
Pat,
the corners play man coverage. And you can take both of your safeties and sink them into the box and play the run. So all of a sudden, the Viking running game, nothing happens. If they get you to 3rd down, Aaron Campman at one end, KGB at the other, Kellen Jenkins goes inside. Now they can 4-man rush you without blitzing. They really have a nice package, and the offensive line doesn't get enough credit because that offensive line, why they weren't running the ball was more we got running backs. They've discovered this kid out of Notre Dame. They picked him up on waivers.
How about Ryan Grant from the New York Giants, who for, what was it, a 6th or a 7th round draft they got him for, and he's turning into a good player here for the Green Bay Packers. 8-1, they get Carolina at home, and then Thanksgiving against the Lions. Meanwhile, the running back for the Vikings, Adrian Peterson, left the game with an injury, did not come back. You'll have to stay with CBSSports.com as you see his rushing numbers. He had a couple of big runs, but he got injured late in that game, and you'll have to see how that injury plays out throughout the rest of the week as this team lost a lot of momentum after that big game against the San Diego Chargers. For more on this one or any other in Week 10, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.